Hello, Johnny London here once again. Well, there's only a 30% chance of rain today, so I thought what I'll do is I'll get the masking tape and the paints out and we can have a little go at a bit of detailing on the bow. It's a job I've been looking forward to for quite some time, so as usual, let's see how I get on. I've made a start on masking up this side, but there's plenty still to do. I need to measure and mark for the inner edge. I always rub the tape edge down. I need something that's the right size circle. There we go. I've cut the shape out of some masking tape. It's tricky to position it right. A full circle this time. And that's for the middle bit. I'll have to trim away these lines too. Looking good. All ready for paint. Well, I bet you're all waiting to see me drop something in the canal, aren't you? And there is a big long list of things that have gone in there over the years, I'm afraid. Everything from scissors, screwdrivers, rulers, even a pair of really good quality garden loppers once. So far so good. The only thing that is worrying me is the weather. It's getting pretty chilly out now, as you can see, and still got the shorts on though, obviously, but I've masked up really carefully. It's taken me a while to do the circle, but I want to be able to do it all in one hit, and the way I've got it, I should be able to do just that. I should be able to just get the grey paint out and bang it on. Not looking all that promising. Well, I've just finished the other side, masking up that is, but of course there was nowhere to put the tripod unless I wanted to sit it in the middle of the canal. So let's have a look and see what I've done there. It's just the same, hopefully. I've cut down what was a 4-inch roller sleeve. I work carefully, there's not much room for error. I try to get a good finish. Well, that's the first coat on both sides, and there's even a little bit of sun around. Coat number 2. Number 3. You can work quickly with this paint as it dries in no time. There we go. I've done the other side too. I'm afraid you can't see much of the other side, but you get the idea. Well, I really had to get the masking tape off as soon as I put the paint on, so as not to get a really horrible edge, because obviously it's quite detailed, this bit. It's come out pretty well. I'm happy with it. It looks much more like a proper narrowboat now, and one of the circles isn't quite absolutely perfect, but I can always sort of touch that in a bit later. But generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with the afternoon's work. For today's task, I'll need plenty of this. Well, there's a nice bit of sun about today, although it's a bit windy and a little bit chilly, but it'll be dry, that's the main thing. So today I'm going to get on and see if I can get all these lines painted on this side of the boat. I start by making sure the area I'm working on is clean. Now I can start putting the masking tape on. Well, I have to say this is not the weather that the Met Office promised me, but I'm going to crack on. Hopefully it's just a bit of another passing shower, and I've nearly masked up the first stage of this side anyway. Obviously I'm just following the lines that I've got from where the existing paintwork is, but when I do the next section I'll need to mark in 2.5 centimetres, 25 millimetres, or an inch, and then sort of work off that and do a separate load of masking tape. So I think that'll be more difficult, if anything. Save the difficult bit for last day. Well, I've just been along and just checked the straightness of all the tape just by eye, looking down the edge of the boat. It's pretty good actually. I'm not displeased with it at all. And so off of that now, I'm going to work with my ruler and do the markings for the inner piece of tape. Well, I've just finished marking out on the first panel. It's taken a little while actually, but I've done it quite carefully because I want the lines to be straight. I'm using a dark blue marker and I'm marking just inside where I'm going to be painting. So I'll mask outside these marks and those little marks will just get painted over, saves me having to clean them off later. Everything's going okay, weather's holding out, but I keep getting stung by nettles and there's the constant sort of faint whiff of dog poop, but I can't find exactly where it is along here. Sort of typical canal side conditions really. I would have picked a nicer stretch of bank somewhere, but I'm outside the boatyard waiting for their crane to be fixed, so obviously I don't want to leave the area now. I want to get in there and get my blacking done. So this is going to take a while. I better get cracking. Well, as you can see, I've switched tapes. I've used up all my good car shop stuff now because I've had it for a while, but it's been borrowed for other projects as I've gone along. I bought a couple of rolls at Wilco a while back, and when I first opened it just now I thought, well, this is a bit thin, a bit like rice paper, but it's actually working really well. It's not too stretchy, and because it's even wider, this is a really wide one, I'm finding it's helping me to get the lines more straight because it doesn't wibble from side to side as much because it's wider. So it's going really well actually. I think about another hour and I should have this all masked up. And an hour or so later, here it is, all masked up and ready for paint. No, I haven't forgotten to put the paint on the roller. Well, I've rubbed all the edges of the masking tape onto the paint with my back of my nails as I've been going, and I've been over it again with that seam roller, which I thought might help sort of press it down a little bit more, and I've just been round and rubbed it all down again with the back of my nails because I really want to make sure to get a really nice clean edge. So it's looking good, the weather's okay at the moment. I think the next thing to do is get a coat of paint on. And this is the paint I'm using, Jotun Conceal. It's xylene based. It's nice and thick and I've got a good hairy roller. So I've just whizzed round that and given it a first coat, and in fact I whizzed round and gave it a second coat as well, actually, because you can do that with this kind of paint. It's a special paint, it's xylene based, it dries quite quickly. But before I finish off, I'm going to go in, have a little break, a tea and a cake, that sort of thing, and I'll let that 2 coats or 1.5 coats, whatever you want to call it, dry really well before I sort of finish off with it, give it a really nice good thick last coat. I've generally done 4 coats of paint everywhere I've painted on the boat. I like to have plenty of thick paint on there, keep it protected, but of course the big reveal, the masking tape being removed, well, that's still a couple of hours away. Well, I didn't have a tea and cake in the end because it was much too early for that, but it was much too late for dinner, so I had a couple of chocker pans, sort of compromised. Anyway, there's a splash of rain about, so I'm going to get this last coat on pronto. Well, as you can see, I almost got away with it. I've just got to go back out and get the masking tape off. But if it's a bit soggy, well, maybe it'll come off all the easier. No music for this bit, so that we can hear the delicious sound of the masking tape peeling away. As you can see, the lines are straight and true. I had toyed with the idea of doing these lines in red, and even bought some paint. But I had second thoughts. I think it looks good like this. Well, excuse me if I don't sit down, but everything's completely soaking wet. But as you can see, it's come out absolutely brilliant. I'm really pleased with it. Better than I had hoped. Got the thickness of the stripe just right, 2.5 centimetres. I'm glad I didn't go any more than that. And it's come out really straight. So we'll probably have a look around at it properly in the daytime tomorrow. But for now, I'm a happy boater.